Hi, my name is Praneeth and welcome to my channel Everyday Space. In today's video, we're going to be doing another KSP video. In my last video, we sent a rocket to moon orbit, and in today's video, we're going to be sending that rocket down to the surface of the moon. So let's get started. So guys, this is where we left off in the last video. We now have our second and third stage of the rocket in moon orbit at around 50,000 kilometers above the surface of the moon. We just separated the third stage from the second stage, and we will see it more clearly in just a second. There you can see the clear separation of both of those stages. The third stage is the last stage of our rocket, and we will use the third stage to come to the surface of the moon. So we just want to get to the closest point to the moon, so we will have to use less fuel to get down to the lunar surface. So we're going to get closer to our periapsis, or the lowest point in our orbit, to make the final descent down to the lunar surface. So now we're just throttling up the engine a bit so that we can now do it. So we are now throttling the engine at around 1/3 throttle, and you can see the red marker on the screen on the moon. That is approximately where we are going to land, but it will change quite rapidly as we're going to keep on firing the engines. So there you can see the landing legs, the 4 landing legs now deploying. These landing legs are crucial if we want to land on the moon without damaging our spacecraft. So we are around 200 or 100 meters per second, and we need to get to 0 meters per second to make a good landing. We're throttling down even more to cancel out our horizontal velocity so we can find out a good place to land. Now the red marker is getting really close to our rocket, and we're now coming in at 50 meters per second. We're going to fire it a bit more to get to around 10 or 20. So we're now around about 100 meters above the surface of the moon, and we're going to keep on slowly chipping away on our velocity to come down even closer. We are now around 5 meters per second, and we're fluctuating around that area, but we are getting even closer, and I'm going to eventually cancel it out to almost 0. And we have touchdown. We now finally landed on the lunar surface with our spacecraft and with our astronaut. So as you saw in that video, we landed a rocket from the moon orbit down to the surface of the Earth. This is one of the more complicated tasks of the mission when landing on the moon, because there are 3 main factors that come into play. It is controlling your horizontal and vertical velocity and your altitude control. So horizontal and vertical velocity are the 2 different velocities that come into consideration while landing on the moon. The horizontal velocity is the way or the direction at the speed of which you're going left or right, and the vertical velocity is the direction of the speed which you're going up and down. So just before you're landing, you want to mainly cancel out your horizontal velocity, so you will be going straight down. Because of this, you will have a rough idea of where you're going to land, and you can sense if there are any obstacles nearby landing. The vertical velocity, you will always have vertical velocity throughout your mission, either it's up or down. It is usually going to be down as we want to go to the surface of the moon from moon orbit. So you will always have vertical velocity, usually going down. And the third main factor is the altitude control. For the altitude control, there are 2 main ways of finding out how far away from the landing of the surface you are. You can use lasers to detect how far you are from the moon's surface, or you can use navigation via the stars around the moon. These both have many uses and disadvantages. So these are the 3 main factors that come into play when you're landing on the moon. So thanks for watching. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe and like.